What if I told you there's a specific age, a biological tipping point, where your body quietly shifts gears and starts aging faster? Not gradually, not slowly, but noticeably, measurably, in ways that show up on your face, in your joints, in your energy, in your brain. Most doctors won't bring this up at your annual checkup. Your parents never warned you about it. And by the time you feel it, you've already been in it for years. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share changes how you think about every single decade of your life. For decades, scientists assumed aging was a slow, linear process. Like a candle burning down, steady, predictable, even. But a landmark study published in Nature Aging out of Stanford University completely shattered that idea. Researchers analyzed over 4,700 biological molecules, proteins, lipids, metabolites, RNA, in people ranging from their late 20s all the way into their 80s. And what they found stopped the scientific community cold. Aging doesn't happen in a straight line. It happens in waves. Two massive biological shifts, two aging cliffs, occur at highly specific points in human life. The first happens around age 44. The second hits around age 60. At these moments, hundreds of biological processes don't gradually slow down. They reorganize. Genes that were active go quiet. Proteins that protected your cells start behaving differently. Metabolic pathways that ran efficiently for decades begin to stutter. This isn't a theory. This is measurable in your blood, in your skin cells, in your brain chemistry. And here's what makes this terrifying and fascinating at the same time. Most of the people going through these shifts have no idea they're happening. Let's start with the first cliff. Age 44. Now before you roll your eyes and say, "That's not me yet," listen carefully. Because this shift begins building years before 44. And if you're already past it, you need to understand what happened inside your body. At this stage, researchers identified dramatic changes in three core systems. First, lipid metabolism. The way your body processes fats, including the fats in your skin, your brain, your cell membranes, changes fundamentally. This is one reason people in their mid-40s start noticing a softening in their facial structure. The fat pads that gave your face volume and your skin that bounce begin to redistribute and thin. It's not just weight gain. It's a cellular shift in how your body handles fat at the molecular level. Second, alcohol metabolism. This one shocks people. The exact same drink you handled fine at 30 hits differently at 44. Not because you can't drink anymore, but because the enzymes your liver uses to break down alcohol change significantly. Hangovers last longer. Sleep is disrupted more deeply. Inflammation spikes higher. This isn't weakness, it's biology. Third, cardiovascular function. The proteins associated with heart muscle function and arterial elasticity show measurable degradation in the mid-40s. Your heart isn't failing, but it's working in a different environment than it was 10 years earlier. Blood pressure creeps up for reasons that feel mysterious. Recovery from exercise takes longer. Morning stiffness becomes a routine visitor. And underneath all of this, driving all of it, is a slower but critical shift. Your mitochondria begin to decline in both number and efficiency. These are the power plants of every cell in your body. When they slow down, everything slows down. The second cliff at 60 is even more dramatic. By this point, multiple systems hit critical thresholds simultaneously. It's not one domino, it's a cascade. Immune aging accelerates. The thymus gland, which produces T cells, the soldiers of your immune system, has been shrinking since your 20s. But by 60, its output drops to near zero. Your immune system doesn't just get weaker. It gets confused. Inflammation that used to be targeted and temporary becomes chronic and systemic. Scientists call this inflammaging, and it's linked to everything from Alzheimer's to heart disease to certain cancers. Muscle loss reaches a tipping point. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass, has been quietly progressing since your mid-30s. But around 60, the rate doubles. You can lose up to 1% of muscle mass per year passively. without doing anything wrong, without changing your diets, without getting sick, just by existing. Cognitive architecture shifts. The brain doesn't shrink evenly. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning, focus, working memory, emotional regulation, begins to lose volume more rapidly after 60. Processing speed slows. Word retrieval becomes harder. This is normal aging, but it is also preventable. Skin turnover collapses. In your 20s, your skin renews itself every 28 days. By 60, that cycle stretches to 60, 70, sometimes 90 days. Dead cells linger. Collagen production, which already dropped 1% per year after age 20, slows even further. The skin you see in your 60s isn't failing. It's just operating on a completely different schedule. Here's where I need to talk directly to the people in their 20s and 30s, listening to this right now. You are not immune to this. You are not in some safe zone where these things are abstract future problems. Every decade before 44 is a deposit or a withdrawal from the account your body will need to cash in later. Your skin's collagen starts declining at 21. Your bone density peaks at 30 and begins dropping after that. Your metabolism shifts measurably at 25. The neurons in your hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory, start showing reduced regeneration in your late 20s. Here's the brutal truth: the lifestyle you live between 20 and 40 programs the severity of your experience at 44 and 60. Two people can hit the same biological cliff at the same age and have completely different experiences. Because one of them spent the previous decade building resilience, and the other spent it depleting their reserves. Sleep deprivation at 25 accelerates cellular aging measurably. Chronic stress in your 30s shortens telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA, at a rate comparable to a decade of extra aging. Ultra-processed food doesn't just harm your waistline in your 30s. It reprograms gene expression in ways that show up on your face and in your brain 15 years later. You are not just living your life right now. You are building or destroying the body that will carry you through the back half of it. Now I'm not going to leave you in a spiral of existential dread. Because here's the part no one talks about either: these aging cliffs are real. But they are not destiny. The same Stanford study found that biological age and chronological age can diverge dramatically based on behavior. People who intervened with specific lifestyle strategies showed younger biological profiles than people a full decade younger who didn't. Here are the 5 most evidence-backed interventions. Not supplements, not trends, not hacks, science. 1. Resistance training. This is non-negotiable after 35. Not for aesthetics, for survival. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. It regulates insulin, produces anti-inflammatory compounds, supports bone density, and literally secretes proteins called myokines that protect your brain. 2 to 3 sessions per week of progressive resistance training is one of the most powerful anti-aging interventions in existence. 2. Sleep architecture. You don't just need hours of sleep, you need deep sleep. Deep slow-wave sleep is when your glymphatic system, your brain's waste removal mechanism, activates and flushes out the metabolic debris that accumulates during the day, including amyloid proteins linked to Alzheimer's. Alcohol, late eating, and blue light all destroy deep sleep architecture. Fixing your sleep hygiene after 40 is not optional. It is medicine. 3. Zone 2 cardio. 30 to 45 minutes, 3 to 4 times per week, at a pace where you can still hold a conversation but it feels effortful. This specific intensity trains your mitochondria. It forces them to become more efficient, to multiply, to repair. It is the most direct intervention for the mitochondrial decline that drives the aging cliff at 44. 4. Protein intake. Especially after 50. Most aging adults are dramatically under-eating protein. Your body's ability to synthesize muscle from protein declines with age. To get the same muscle-building signal at 50 that you got at 30, you need more protein, not less. Aim for at least 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight daily. Prioritize gluten-rich sources, eggs, meat, fish, legumes. 5. Social connection and purpose. This sounds soft. It is not. Loneliness activates the same inflammatory pathways as smoking 15 cigarettes per day. It accelerates cognitive decline, suppresses immune function, and measurably shortens telomeres. Having close relationships, even 2 or 3 deeply meaningful ones, is one of the strongest predictors of biological age across every long-term aging study ever conducted. Here's what I want you to take away from this. There is a biological reality to aging that most of us were never taught. There are real cliffs at 44 and 60, where the body undergoes rapid systemic reorganization. These cliffs are not myths. They are not scare tactics. They are documented in peer-reviewed science, measurable in your blood work, visible on your skin, and felt in your energy. But they are also navigable.